Think Different TV, live every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hosted by me, your girl Lashia. Join me as I discuss social topics, spotlight independent artists, and share financial tips. Join the conversation. I want to hear what you have to say. Think Different TV, where minds meet. You're the reason I wake up, the reason I smile.
There's been a lot of stuff going on. So come on in the room. Welcome to Think Different TV. I am your host, Lashia. And I want to thank all of y'all who are coming on tonight. What's up, Judah Priest? How are you? All of those who have been rocking out with me since day one, all of those who are just now coming into the fold, come on in, my friends. And thank you so much for tuning in to Think Different TV. This is, I don't know what is going on with this entire, this month started off kind of quiet, but then Aries season, everybody want to turn up. Aries season come around, everybody tearing up. What is going on? Hi, Ryan Official. Thank you for joining on tonight. I don't know what is going on, but y'all, it is something in the water, and it ain't in my water. Because before we even get this show started, I gotta shout out my sponsors, okay? So I'm gonna shout out Euphoria Water first because it's already in my hand. I'm gonna take a little sip because y'all gotta this stuff that's been happening lately. Euphoria Water, the cleanest, healthiest water in Philly, alkaline water with minerals, okay? No chemicals, no additives, none of that stuff, okay? Medical grade water, this type of water we should all be drinking, okay? Because all them other waters are cancerous, quiet as it's kept. I'm sorry, y'all, my camera act a little crazy. As quiet as it's kept, all them other waters are very cancerous. This is the only water that's for me, because it gets my body right, my pH be right. It gives me all the alkaline and everything that I need for my body. It's keeping that cancer away. And like I said on last week's show, it's crazy how people was running out when COVID happened. They running out to these stores, buying all these cases of water, drinking this water. They're telling people if you got COVID, stay hydrated, right? What's up, Music Notch? How are you? Thank you for joining in tonight. They telling people to stay hydrated and all this stuff, but the very water that they staying hydrated with is killing them, and it's really dehydrating them. Because when you putting all that chemicals, that acid, that stuff in your body, you killing yourself. So that's why I only drink Euphoria water, okay? If you want to hydrate the right way, get that Euphoria water. And if you want to place your order, you just go to Euphoria Water right here on IG. That's UPHORIAWATER. Or you can call Captain at 267-707-8279 so he can hook you up with that water, okay? What's up, Prime Time from Prime Nostalgia Podcast? How are you? Thank you. I had to do a little side. I had to put one on. Tonight is a crazy night, and I'm trying to match the intensity of the heat that's coming out in these stories and stuff like that. So thank you so much. I'm trying to wave at you, but I think you jumped off for a minute. When you come back on, I can wave at you. Listen. Oh my gosh. My other sponsor is Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company. Okay, 14 years experience, over 100 websites created. He is the one that created the flyer for Think Different TV. He's also created a lot of flyers for me in the past for my financial business. He's very, very professional. His name is Phil. Call him Professional Phil, okay? Because he gets your stuff done in the nick of time. He don't waste any time, and he do everything correctly. The right, like he'll send me a proof of like, okay, if you need me to make any changes, you know, let me know. It's perfect. It's perfect the first time around. Like I don't even need him to correct anything because it'll always be spot on the first time around. So when you ready to get your website done, when you ready to get that flyer done for that event, when you're ready to get anything done, graphic design, anything of that sort, contact Phil of Anointed Ads. You can hit him up here on IG at Anointed Ads. It's ANOINTEDADS. You can check out more of his work on his website, www.anointedads.com. Because, of course, if he create websites, he got to have a website, right? Or you can go and like him on Facebook. He's in all the social medias. Or you can just hit him up directly. Call him at 609-534-0237, honey. And he will hook you up with a nice flyer. He'll hook you up with, he has eye-catching designs. You can tell an Anointed Ad when you see it, okay? Or he'll hook you up with your website. And when you mention Think Different TV, baby, he's going to give you 15% off. So make sure you go and hit up Phil today to get that project started. Let me tell y'all. When I say this week been crazy, I was actually debating doing my topic tonight because it was some stuff that happened. There is a topic that I want to discuss tonight that I really want to discuss that is a serious topic, but it's more along the lines of, you know, talking about us and how we can rebuild us as a community. So let me just get this real. All right, y'all. So I want to dedicate the show to Robin Tatum and let her know that I love her, and I know she's always going to be around. Anytime we have a party, I know she's going to be there. Never a dull moment, never a dull moment. My condolences to her son. But we know cause that she's in a better place and she is up there rocking out. So I'm glad y'all here rocking out with me tonight on this show. So let's just get it out the way. Let's address the elephant in the room that around the world. Can we just like address it, get it out the way? I had mixed feelings, y'all. I had mixed feelings. I feel like if I don't talk about it, then I'm going to be like, dang, I should have talked about it. But then I feel like I'm just kind of like following the trend of everybody else. But I do have my own topic tonight. Hello. So I'm not just going to talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock and that slap at the Oscars. I'm not just going to talk about that tonight. So, honey, I've done prepared my show, and I'm going to do my show. All right. But I think this is to a whole nother level, y'all. A whole nother level. I don't know what was going on with Will. I don't know what's going on with Chris Rock, but y'all need to get it together, okay? Because we cannot have y'all out here rumbling in the streets, okay? Please get it together. Y'all are grown men in y'all 50s. In y'all 50s. Did we not talk about Will Smith, 19 years old? We're not talking about Will Smith in his 20s. We're not talking about Will Smith in his 30s. We're not talking about Will Smith even in his 40s. We're talking about 50. You are in your 50s, sir. You are in your 50s. And Chris Rock, you are in your 50s. Y'all don't look it, but y'all in y'all 50s. Y'all need to get it together. All this joking him on and then, you know, going off on and hitting people, y'all need to stop. My mom always told me, keep your hands to yourself. All right? You know, if somebody hits you, then you have the right to defend yourself. But don't just go around just be hitting people. Because you liable to get hit back. And then you can't cry, foul, or none of that stuff. Listen. Chris Rock better than me. I would at least attempted to try to hit him back. I wouldn't care to, you know, but I'm a female, so let's hope he don't hit females. Blood don't hit females. But let me tell you, when a beta male hit another beta male, there's some crazy stuff going on. What's up, Conan Coors? Good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining in. So it was one of those situations, damned if you do, damned if you don't. If Will Smith didn't say anything, if he didn't do anything, and people know about Jada's alopecia, and they, you know, and they heard Chris Rock's joke, and Will Smith didn't do anything, people would have been like, oh, stand up for his wife, and how dare he know that his wife got alopecia, and, you know, why didn't he go and do anything, and why didn't he say anything, and all this stuff. And what people got to realize is that grown folks, when they confront people, it don't always have to be public for everybody to see. It don't always got to be out in the open. A lot of talks happen behind closed doors. Does that make him a punk? Does that make him a chump if he didn't say anything right then and there and waited until after the party or when they got backstage and said, yo, like Jada got alopecia and that comment was really offensive. You know, I know you're a comedian. I know you just doing your job, but still, like, come on, man. You know, my wife is battling with this. That wasn't cool. And they could have just hashed it out, and then, you know, Chris Rock was like, man, I'm sorry. You know, and I am a comedian. And I, you know, I do jokes, and I wasn't aware or whatever. They could have had a talk. They could have had a discussion. They're 50. They're in their 50s. They could have had a discussion. Like, we didn't need to see SmackDown at the Oscars. Rock was like, the hell? Did I miss my cue? Was I supposed to be at the Oscars? Because this is like SmackDown. What the hell is going on, y'all? But anyway, I digress. Like I said, they could have clearly had a conversation. But this generation is so skewed that if he wouldn't have said anything right then and there, what would have happened was everybody would be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he didn't stand up for Jada, and this, that, and third, blah, 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 right? And then there would have been more talk about his family and all this stuff. But then he does something about it, and he still gets backlash. How could Will do something like that? Like Conan Core says, what Will did was disgusting. And well, how could he be, you know, so barbaric? He set black people back years and years and years. We get to the Oscars, and the black man is directing it, and now he's making a mockery of the Oscars and all this stuff. And it's like, it wouldn't have mattered what he did. It wouldn't have mattered what he did. Now, what would have been entertaining, and he could have got get back with the get back. He could have went up on stage, and they could have had a back and forth, like a grind session. Like, you know, you talk about my wife, but look at this, that joke was dry. Like, like, you know, like stuff like that. Like, he could have been like, yeah, that joke was dry. Try again. You know, like he could have, you know, and it would have kept the Oscars light. He would have said his piece, and everybody could have, but, you know, shoulda, woulda, coulda, in the moment. You know, you don't think about stuff like that. Hindsight is 2020. What's up, B&A Island? What's up, True Pearson? How are you guys tonight? Just talk about that slap heard around the world, y'all. But like I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Catch-22, he would have been all messed up no matter what he did. But like I said, if it would have been like a grind session back and forth between the two of them, you know, him saying, you know, coming at Chris Rock, and they could have just went back and forth, kind of like with Bruce and David Mann, when they was going back and forth. No, not Bruce. It was LeVar. It was the other one, LeVar. When they was going back and forth, that was hilarious. And they was coming back and forth at each other, and you would tell that stuff was on the spot. You get what I'm saying? What's up, Mr. Smith? How are you? Thank you for joining in tonight. So definitely, it could have been a grind session for like a good fight. Everybody would be like, got out the system. Later on, he could have accepted the Oscar. You know, shout out to Will Smith for winning the Oscar for Best Actor in the leading role in King Richard. Well, Best Actor in the leading role in the movie was King Richard. Shout out to him for winning that Oscar. But like I said, giant step backward, just take one step forward. It was not worth it, bro. Yeah, it was not worth it. So I got that out of my system. Yes. Okay. Now that brings us to 9:35. All right. I'm trying to keep in time, y'all, but it's so hard because there's so much to talk about, right? So my topic tonight. Kyle, what's the topic tonight? Lashia, what's the topic tonight? People call me Kyle, people call me Lashia, whatever you feel more comfortable with. My topic for the night is about it takes a village to raise a child, or the village has no say in how I raise my child. So I wanted to make sure that I was very thorough with this because I'm seeing it, y'all. I'm seeing that it's not, the village is not really there, but I'm going to get to that later on. So, the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child, it's an African proverb, y'all. So, that means an entire community of people must interact with children for those children to grow in a safe and healthy environment. So, right when it said African proverb, automatically I'm thinking this shouldn't be new to us. We should already be doing this. This should not be an afterthought. This should not be, oh, why are we not, you know, taking care of our kids and stuff like that, you know, each one reach one, teach one, all that stuff. Azar King, thank you for joining in. D Newman, thank you for joining in. Like, we should already be doing it amongst us. You get what I'm saying? So this should not, it takes a village to raise a child. It should already be coded in us to do that, to look out for one another. All right. And then I took the word community and I looked at the definition of community. And a community is a social unit with commonalities such as norms, religion, values, customs, or identity. So that's when it gets tricky. So that's when it probably lends to the second part of the equation, which is the village has no say in raising my child because of the community part. But I'm going to talk about that later. So, neighborhood, right? A district, especially one forming a community within a town or a city. All right? Now, there's a difference, a big difference between being neighborly and being a busybody, okay? We all know that one person that be all up in everybody's business, don't know what they doing with themselves. The way they entertain themselves is by inserting themselves into other people's lives, into other people's business, doing other crazy stuff that is not being neighborly, is just being a pester, being a pest. Being someone who is, excuse me, being someone who is very much a troublemaker and wants to stir up some stuff. Okay, that's a busybody. Now, that's a case of having the wrong people taking an interest in our children for the wrong reasons, or taking an interest in our lives for the wrong reason. But when you're neighborly, it could be as simple as, like, let's say you get up early in the morning every morning at 5 a.m. and you know that your neighbor's child gets on the bus at like 7 a.m. or whatever. And you get up at 5 a.m., but you don't really go anywhere or do anything until you don't leave the house until 8 o'clock. And you look out the window and you see the bus pull up, and the kid doesn't get on the bus or whatever. And somebody pulls up, or they see somebody pull up and is trying to like talk to the child before the child gets on the school bus. Being neighborly, and also, keeping an eye on your community, keeping it safe. You can look out there and be like, hey, this looks fishy. That never happens. Let me go out there and let me say something or protect this child that's standing out there waiting for the bus. That's being neighborly. That's not being a busybody. That's looking out for your neighbor, right? So that just gives you an example. Now, I read this article online. It was under Utah Valley 360. It was written by Brianna Oliverson. Brianna O. Okay. It's called 10 Reasons Why It Takes a Village to Raise a Child. Now, I love these reasons. I'm going to read these reasons for you, and I'm also going to give a little bit of insight on what each of the reasons are, okay? So 1, other people love your kids. So that means that you're not the only one that cares about your kids. Like, that neighbor has a certain amount of care for that child to make sure that that child is not going off with some stranger. That they see a situation that's not normal, and because of the fact that it's a close-knit community, village, I gotta use the word village, because it's a close-knit village, they like, wait a minute, this looks wrong, let me go out there, let me say something, let me make sure that this child is safe, so other people love your kids. 2, your kids get a bigger support system. So it's very important that in everything our children do, if they play sports, if they play instruments, if they're really intelligent and they are geniuses and they're on Jeopardy or something like that, or they're going off to college or whatever, that they have a big support system that's outside of their family too, because you never know who is going to look out for your child. You never know, with good intentions. I want to put that out there, with good intentions. Let's say your child goes off to college. You can't keep eyes on your child 24/7, 365. But let's say that somebody in the neighborhood, they have a relative that's going to the same college, and they like, hey, do you know such and such? Oh yeah, I'm just giving you a heads up. He or she is from my neighborhood, and I know their parents. Can you introduce yourself, and also like keep an eye on, make sure that they, if they're a freshman and this person is a sophomore or junior or a senior, you keep an eye on them, or just make sure that they good on the campus, and let them know that, you're related to me, so that they have a sense of a village wherever they go. You get what I'm saying? So your kids get a bigger support system. 3, parenting is hard. All right, and I'll be the first one to say that. When I had my son, hey, Just Shades, thank you for joining in. When I had my son, I have a very big support system, very good support system. But my support system has become bigger because I have joined groups. Once finding out about my son having autism, I've joined groups, and I've got in touch with other parents who are dealing with the same situations that we are dealing with, they've been through it. They know the different types of schools that you could put them in, or just period. Like, even if my son didn't have autism, and just, get him started off in school, what school is the best school? Some people, they have better insight than I do because they already been through it. They already have a child that's been in school and all that stuff. So I can turn to them and ask them for advice, or if there's an online school that I was thinking of putting them in, but I'm not sure, and I'm like on the fence about it, and then somebody be like, oh yeah, you should check this school out. So parenting is already hard when you're by yourself and everything like that. And it just helps to have other parents, a network of other parents that you can reach out to if you have questions and stuff like that. The older generation, we are doing stuff different than the older generation, but there still are some ideals that older generations have that we can learn and adopt into our new parenting style. So definitely, when you have a village, it helps with easing the parenting. 4, life is short. Life is short, and we want to create meaningful relationships while we are here. Okay, we want to make sure that our children create meaningful relationships while they're here on earth. And having a village and having a whole bunch of people rally around you, it's no greater feeling in the world, feeling that feeling complete because you have that support system and you're building and developing meaningful relationships. 5, strong sense of family creates strong kids. So listen, I know it's some kids that come from families that are like, when you hear the name of the family, you know not to mess with their family. If that person got that last name, you're like, hey, do you know such and such? Oh yeah, we ain't messing with that person, because we know if we mess with one, all of them gonna come out. All right, so definitely strong sense of family creates strong kids. These kids will also, now there is a downside, they could become bullies because of the status and because of the family that they belong to. But if they're good kids, because we want to focus on the good kids, if they're good kids, good children, people know not to mess with them and know that they come from good stock, I guess that's what they say, or just come from a good family. And so they like, or a really tough family, and they're like, don't mess with them. Like, you're the Gottis, you're like, you want to mess with them, I'm not trying to mess with no Gotti, because I might not have a body if I mess with a Gotti, like stuff like that. So yeah. 6, sometimes others have better ideas. So here's the thing with parenting and everything like that. You might think, you might have, shout out to I Am Mama Bennett, the Bennett gang. She posts a lot of videos here on IG just about parenting and about marriage and family in general. And sometimes we might approach a certain situation because she always talks about these glasses that we have on, and we see things a certain way, so we attack things a certain way. I had a teacher in massage school. He said, if all you have in your toolbox is a hammer, you're going to treat everything like a nail, right? Well, when you have other people who you allow to have input in your life, and they give you certain ideas, you don't have to always turn to the same solution for different problems. Like, oh, you broke your arm, take some Tylenol. You got a headache, take some Tylenol. Then, no, you can't take Tylenol for everything. Eventually you're gonna have to try something different, and those other people have insight on how to treat the situation a little differently. So that's what number 6 is about. Number 7, other people have different talents and skills. So if you have a child that's interested in swimming, but you like, I ain't never swim a day in my life, I ain't never been in the pool, or I've been in the pool, but I ain't no swimmer. You know, and your child is really into it and wants to know how to swim. It might be somebody right in your neighborhood that know how to swim really well, who will teach your son or daughter how to swim. And because y'all have such a strong village, and that person know you, and you know, y'all are active in each other's lives, that person might be like, just bring them by the rec center, and I'll teach them how to swim, you know, or teach her how to swim. Like, don't even worry about it. So, and of course, I'm saying this like when people have good intentions, because you know there's always the other side, but I want to keep this side positive. All right. Also, if your child is really into computers, and you know there's a guy down the hall or down the street that really knows how to fix computers and stuff like that, and your child takes a real big interest in it, then you might want to take him down there, introduce him, and say, you know, would it be okay if my son or daughter watches you, you know, fix a computer? It doesn't hurt, y'all. It doesn't hurt. 8, village creates a sense of community. And there is a difference between community and a village, but it does give you a strong sense of community. It really does. 9, kids can help their village as much as the village helps them. So your child your child is amazing and has a lot of great skills and things that they are developing over time as well. So they may be able to lend a hand to the village and keep this train going, you know, for generations and generations and generations. It just benefits generations going forward to have a strong village, because now your child could be one of those people that contributes to the village and make sure that the village is still standing, still strong, still developing, you know. Number 10, children develop different strong relationships. So different meaning like they'll know the dynamic between a coach and a player, a teacher and a student. They'll know all these dynamics. And I don't know about y'all, but I feel like when you have people with different mindsets and different insight than you do, it helps prepare you better when you have a strong sense of your values and everything like that. You'll be able to argue it better when you know other people's points of view, or you can be able to accept their point of view and keep it pushing, but also know like there's other points of views out there. Like not everybody is this way, you know. Is not like everybody's cookie cutter and everybody is the same. Everybody is different. They have different mindsets. They have different values. They have different everything, religions, all this different stuff. And you can't have your child come up thinking that the world is just you and them. You can't, because they're going to go out in the world and then they're going to realize that things aren't like what it is in your home. It's sometimes very different. Very, very different. Vastly different. Okay? Okay? Especially now, it's very different from when I was growing up. So, guys, just choose the right village. Where makes a difference. All right? However, you could be the one to start a village where you plant your flag. Okay? How can you do that? You're like, well, how can I start a village? Like, how can I, you know? And, Hi, DJ Co. How are you? Thank you for joining in. You could definitely be the one to go and plant your flag somewhere and say, hey, I want to be the one to kick this village off. So, what can you do, right? 1, introduce yourself. Talk to people. Like, you don't have to be all like, hey, Lashia, I'm Aquarius. I do this, I do that, Just be like, hey, I'm new in the neighborhood. My name is Lashia. I just moved in. I have a son. Blah 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 blah. Would like to get to know you. As it goes on and going on and going on. Hey, Poet 402, how are you tonight? Thank you for joining in. Real quickly, I had to dab. Okay. So, introduce yourself. 2, if there are small ways to contribute to the community and you want to, do it. All right. It could be having a street clean. It could be, just doing something that people at first would think is really minor, but it creates a major change in your community. Like doing a street clean, or just making sure that in front of your steps are clean all the time. Make sure that you keep it nice and presentable, and people don't be like, ew, it's always dirty in front of their door, ew, and people don't really like when there's hoarders living in their neighborhood, because it brings everything down. It brings rodents, it brings a lot of different stuff. You could be one of those people that like to keep in front of your door clean and really nice. And one thing that I do is when it snows, I don't just shovel in front of my house. I shovel in front of my neighbor's house too. Like, it's really minor things that you could do that can create a big change. So another thing, you can make small care packages for your neighbors. I would say for like new neighbors coming into the neighborhood, when they come in, you want to just make like a nice little care package. Say, hey, I see that you came into the neighborhood. Just want to let you know my name is such. And also, if you're a business owner, that helps you too, because now you got someone who's new to the neighborhood that if they know you as that person for that thing, then they're gonna be like, oh, I need my taxes done. And I remember the lady down the street gave me a card to get my taxes done. I'm gonna go check her out. They're gonna be more inclined to go with somebody right in their neighborhood before they go out their neighborhood. Hey, Mario the Entertainer, how are you? Thank you for joining tonight. If they know you as that person that do life insurance, like I do life insurance, they could be like, hey, I was thinking about getting some life insurance. Let me go holler at Lashia, see what she got going on. She got these deals going on, which I don't know. I'm not going to promise that. But, because it's not something you just buy like a shirt off the rack. I always tell everybody it's something you qualify for. Little side note. Okay. But, then they'll be like, oh, I'm going to go hit her up before I go to somebody down South Philly. She right down the street. I could go to her and just, get that figured out. Hey, DJ Chemo, how are you? Thank you for joining in tonight. Just saying hi, y'all. Jeez, stop being these grumpy people that just walk around with his scruff face off. Walk around. Smile. Hi, how are you? Yeah, like if you, I make it a point to be either going somewhere or coming from somewhere. I'm not one of those people that just be hanging out on my steps. Like, I might do that once in a blue moon when it's nice outside. But I ain't one of those people that just be sitting out in front of my house. So that's not what I do. Alright? But I will say that whenever I'm coming or going and I see one of my neighbors, hey, how you doing? Keep it moving. Like, you ain't gotta be all like, hey, how's the weather? Like, how you been? Like, whole conversation. No, keep it short, sweet, to the point. Hey, how you doing? Oh, and some people might ask about my son. Hey, how's your son doing? Oh, he's doing great. Like, not going into all details, but just like, he's doing great. Just say hi, y'all. Like, stop being these grumpy people that walk around with rough face all the time. Like, we shouldn't even be like that to each other. We all live in the same neighborhood. Because One minute y'all talk about I ain't trying to say hi to nobody. The next minute y'all be like, why ain't nobody say nothing when people stole the furniture off my porch? Because they ain't trying to say nothing. Hey Marianne, how are you? Thank you for joining in tonight. They ain't trying to be telling you nothing if you walk around like all day. They ain't trying to do that. I'm just keeping it all the way funky with y'all. And number 4, spend more time in your village. Like, if you know that there is a restaurant right in your neighborhood, give it a try. Hey, Curtis Careers, how are you? Thank you for joining in tonight. If you know that somebody is, I don't even know how to explain it, but if you know that you have people with certain skills within your neighborhood, home skills, they know how to fix stuff, you know, don't go outside the neighborhood. Keep it in the village. Keep it in the village, y'all. You know, y'all will go so far or call, you know, somebody to come through and fix your TV, but the dude literally down the street that probably wouldn't even charge you nothing, or probably would charge you way less than that, you know, or not even like even the deal thing. Just give your village a chance. You will be surprised. All right, try to keep that love within the village, okay? And that's how you can pretty much plant your flag somewhere and create a village where you are, or just, you know, keep the village strong. See, my thing is that we're so into just going about day after day, just surviving and getting through life. But what if it's not? What if we're just surviving? What if we're just going through this feeling of we have to survive because we don't have that strong sense of community and village around us? Can you imagine all the women who are single mothers, who are going on welfare, that feel like ain't nobody there for them and this, that, and the third? If the village rallied around them and made sure that they had what they needed, they wouldn't have to go to the government to get that type of stuff anyway. Just think about it. If I have it, remember how they were like, if I have it, you have it? Now, there are some greedy mofos out there, but there are some people out there that really are in need. And we need to stop being on some stuff like, oh, that's their business and they need to get it together and this and the third. No. We all need to get it together. We all need to rally around these single parents that don't have the means and everything. Like, people be all quick to be like, well, if they ain't had the money to take care of their kids, they should never had kids. I mean, there is a level, at one point, you do have to accept responsibility for making certain decisions in your life. Yes. It's hard to not judge people sometimes because that's what we do. We humans, we want to judge everybody, right? But then when you really step back from the situation, that person could just be having a hard time because maybe they wasn't always a single mother. Maybe they was married. Maybe the husband is giving the person a hard time. Maybe vice versa. Maybe the man has the kids and the woman is just skated out and just was like, I'm done being a mom, and like left the dad holding the bag. You know, we never know people's situation, and if we are a strong village and we rally around the people that need the help, and we help those within our village, they don't need to go to white daddy. Okay? Think about it. Think about it, okay? Think about it. It doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. So, it is 10 o'clock. Oh, I'm making good time. Yay! So it's 10 o'clock. So I'm going to take a quick pause before I go into the second part of this to shout out my sponsors once again. All right. Anointed Ads. Anointed Ads is an award-winning graphic design and website company